Hello friends, Chris here with another wonderful episode of Food FAQs. Wonderful episode, a brand new episode of Food FAQs. Today we're going to be discussing yams. Not that sweet potato that masquerades as yam in North America in the grocery stores. I'm talking about a true ground provision, that stuff that gives you that stamina to your back. Yams. We're shopping for it, how to peel it, how to prep it, how to boil it, simple way how to cook it. And this is what I have going here in the pot. I've got that yam boiling away, and you would treat it as you would normally treat potatoes. So here we go, Food FAQ, yams. Remember, if it's your first time here, above, click subscribe. All the latest videos are going to be sent to you. Below is where you're going to leave me your comments, questions, concerns. If you want me to touch on something, leave it in the comment section below. And before you go, do give the video a thumbs up. I so appreciate when you guys do that. So let's talk about yams. Yams can certainly be confusing for the average person because, first of all, in North America, what is referred to as yams is really what we call sweet potato. This hard, brown, firm, almost looks like not even a potato, but it's treated as a potato the way we cook it. I'm just going to quickly go through some steps on peeling it, cutting it up, as well as cooking it. Very simple, one of the ways which it can be enjoyed. When you're shopping for the yam, make sure you got something that's nice and smooth, clean on the outside. The stem area here will be old because it's being shipped here, but this is a lovely piece of yam here. This is small, to be honest with you. Usually they're a lot bigger, anywhere from 2, 3, 4. I've seen ones as much as 10 pounds, to be honest with you. So here we go. I'm going to show you guys how to peel it first of all and how to cook it later on. Peeling the yams is fairly simple. What you need is a sharp paring knife and obviously the yam, right? This sort of stem part here, you want to go maybe about ½ an inch below that and cut that part out. If you have a garden, you live in a tropical country, you can certainly plant this, and this sort of stem area here will send out a shoot. As you can see, it's a beautiful sort of white yellow color, cream color, and all you're doing is pretty much removing the outer skin. Here's a tip, guys, when handling these yams. And I've got a ton of experience with them. My hands doesn't go all itchy, but you may want to, because of the sort of a slimy outside here, it's very starchy, it may cause your hands to itch. So what I've seen my mom do in the past was to rub some cooking oil, some vegetable oil, to form a protective coating on her hands when she's handling these yams, because it can become quite itchy, especially if they're just harvested. Sort of cut out all the sort of blemishes, and there we go. We've got a peeled piece of yam. All you're going to do is to cut it into pieces now. So with a piece of yam that big, I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces and try to be as close to in size, because when they cook uniformly. And all I'm going to do now, I have a saucepan here. I'm just going to put those in here, and we're going to rinse those out, fill it up with water, and put it to boil. So after peeling, and I mentioned that you guys can use a paring knife to peel this. I'm sure a potato peeler will also work great. What I did was I rinsed it out under cool water, make sure any sort of debris or anything is washed away, covered it, make sure it's covered completely with water, have it on a high flame here because I want to bring this up to a boil. I've got here about 3 pounds of yam. For that, I'm going to use maybe about 3/4 teaspoon of salt to cook it with. The whole idea is to bring it up to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to hit it with that salt and then let it reduce the heat back down to a rolling boil and let it cook until it's tender. Now here's the thing, this yam here, this variety, and there's several varieties. There's finger yam, juba yam, hard yam, kush kush. There's so many different types of yam, and they all cook a little bit differently. So once they come up to a boil, after about 10 or 15 minutes, we're just going to take the paring knife and stick them, and once that paring knife goes through without any resistance, we know it's fully cooked. So here we go. We're going to bring this up to a boil now, just as you would potato, and let it boil for at least 15 to 20 minutes. But again, as I said, it depends on the variety of yam you have. When shopping for yams, the Caribbean style of this type of yam, what you want to do is when you go to your Caribbean market or whatever, you're looking for ground provision. It's one word that covers yams, dasheen, eddoes, all the different root products that we use down in the Caribbean. Or it can be called food. I think my Jamaican brothers and sisters, they refer to this sort of thing as food. The rest of the Caribbean, it's called ground provisions. The pot has now come up to a boil, so what I want to do is a couple things. We're going to turn that down because we want that to sort of a rolling boil. And the other thing is, you're going to notice a sort of frothy sort of stuff accumulate at the top here. What we're going to do is, using a spoon, we're just going to skim that off and toss it out. That's just extra starch and some impurities from the yam itself. Just going to scoop that out, and there we go. I'm going to salt this now and let it go, as I said, for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to test it to see if it's fully cooked or not. So it's been boiling here in the salted water for about 20 minutes now. So I've got my paring knife. We're going to give him that test. And all you're going to do is poke your knife straight through it. And notice there's no resistance. My knife went all the way through. That means it's fully cooked. Guys, it's important that when you're boiling yams like this, you get it at the right moment. If it overcooks, it goes very soppy, very soggy, like, you know, like overcooked potatoes basically. And this is it here. I'm going to drain it and show you guys the end product. There we go, guys. It's fully cooked, it's drained, and it's good to use as it is right now. Treat it as you would treat a potato, except this one here is a bit more starchy, it's a bit more heavy. Yams are wicked to work with. So there you go, guys. You can mash it, you can just put simple butter on there, you can refry this. So you heat up a pan, put some olive oil and some butter in there, fry up some onions and garlic, toss in a little bit of Scotch bonnet pepper, toss these guys in there, let it form that sort of a crust on the outside. Wicked. Me personally, I like some stewed beef on top of this, a nice gravy. Ooh. Chris here, Food FAQs. Guys, thanks for joining me in the kitchen. I really hope this little, I'm going to keep that heat in there, I want this nice and warm. I really hope this video helped you guys understand yam a little bit better.